And we are here tonight with the top five from the Central West Conference for the podcast leading into the finals. And we are joined by the teams. From Guildford, we have Charlie, the coach, and Samuel, the player. And from Wentworthville, we've got Chris, their coach, and Logan, representing for the players. Parramatta, we've got Victor, and for the players, Ryder. And Hills, we have Craig, and representing the players, Lachlan. Guys, welcome. Thanks for joining us here, and thank you for being involved the whole way along with anything we've done in terms of promoting the game, talking before the matches and the post-game interviews. We've finally got to the pointy end of the season. It's been an absolutely fantastic concept. It's been a great competition, and thank you all for buying in. And again, tonight, giving up your time to be here to promote ahead of the finals and talk about these matchups. But I guess getting straight into it, more a simple one to start with. But has this been one of, if not the toughest junior rugby league competition you've been involved in as players and or coaches? And I'll start with you, Craig, from Hills.
Hey, Lewis. It has certainly been a real challenge right throughout the season, and I don't think we've had an easy game. And even the teams that haven't appeared or are not going to appear in the finals, we found it a challenge each week. So to see the talent of each team each week and the quality of the players, it's been really pleasing to be involved in.
Lachlan, you got anything to add?
Yeah, definitely each week is a hard game, and I guess any team can win on the day throughout the comp.
Winnie, Logan and Chris, you got anything to add, or a simple yes if you think they've covered everything?
Yeah, look, I just want to echo what Craig said. I mean, there wasn't any easy games this year, and when you come down to the round 14 and you've got 7 teams and probably 3 or 4 fixtures that everyone was watching to see who was going to make up the final 5, it just shows you the quality of the footy being played, the equalness of the competition, and it's been, from my perspective, a very, very high standard. And I'm happy here that there's out of the 5, there's 4 Parramatta teams, and just shows the investment that the Parramatta Eels Pathways have invested into this group.
Logan, anything?
Well, I think the comp's improved a lot from last year as well, and the quality of teams just gotten a lot better. And as Lockie said, any team can win on the day. Charlie and Samuel?
Same as what these guys have said. Anyone can beat anyone on their day. It's just, and we've seen that. The games you think someone's going to run away with it or whatever, it's the scores have gone the other way. And to think it came down to the last game of the last round to decide our top 5, it just goes to show what sort of competition it was this year.
Yep, and if we pass down to Parramatta here, we've got Victor and Ryder. You guys got anything to add to that, or you agree it's one of the toughest comps you've been involved with?
Yeah, I agree. It's one of the toughest comps that I've actually seen as a coach, and it's exciting as well. There's a lot of potential throughout all the teams, and there's no easy game. There has not been one easy game for us. Even it comes down to the draws where you think some teams are going to win or lose, but you just don't know what's going to happen on the day. It's whoever turns up wanting to win, they're the ones that are going to win. So it's been good.
And I think you've all hit the nail on the head to come down to the last round in particular, that last spot or the last couple of spots, still having 3 teams alive. 2 weeks prior, we had 7 in contention to finish anywhere from 1 to 5 and within that sort of reach. I'll kick off with you guys again. Cabra here, when we send it back around. In terms of the week-to-week standard, have you found it closer, I guess, to being almost a mini junior rep comp? Adding on to sort of what we've said, we've got a lot of players that are obviously development squads. We've got guys that played match year young or involved in those sort of squads, and then on top of that, combining with another district as well.
Yeah, and 100%. It's the standards is you can even shuffle some of the 16 boys to play under 18s if you wanted. That's how good the comp is and the player and the potentials of the players throughout the whole comp. Yeah, no, just what I said before. It's good potential, good comp, and I'm excited to be in the front row for this.
Charlie, Samuel, your thoughts?
Yeah, the standard's been pretty good so far. I think each week you gotta really dig deep just to get the win. So the standard's been really good. It's been really challenging, but also enjoyable.
If you look at the moving forward, the future of I think both districts looks good with this age group, like the boys coming through, like the Cabra coach touched on. You could throw these boys in the 18s comp and they'll give it a good shot. So, yeah, it's been some quality coming through.
Chris, Logan?
Yeah, the standard is high quality. it is actually like watching rep games. I've found that the referee standard has allowed the games to flow. They've been very fast, and that allows the football to be at that rep level. And yeah, look, as the other coaches and players have said, there isn't any game that you went into at any stage that you thought that you were home. Every single game that Wenny's been involved in this year, we've had to fight right to the end. It's just been that close. Doesn't matter who you're playing on the ladder. Every game was hard work.
And Hills, Craig and Lachlan, anything else?
I guess from my perspective, we've watched. You look at the team list, and there's rep players in every team, and there's development players in every team, and I think even those players that are not rep players, from my perspective, I've watched my players grow because they've been playing in a tough competition, and they've been able to develop and hoping to see that some of these boys will now become rep players as they move forward because they've been involved in this sort of environment. So yeah, it's been outstanding.
And I think to this point, I've spoke to Multiview about that as well. Iron sharpens iron, and I guess in this circumstance with changing demographics in junior areas, when you combine two, you may not have the quantity that you used to, but you certainly get more quality by putting together your best of your best from both sides. And both teams issue a top four in Harold Matthews. You'd think you're setting up for a very, very good situation again for both teams heading into next season in terms of the players that are going to come out of this comp. But we'll go with Wenny to kick off this time. And this one I think I could answer for every single one of you because the phone call has been pretty common. But what's been the biggest challenge throughout the season so far?
Probably keeping the players fit and healthy on the ground. A lot of the players that are involved in pre-season reps, there's a lot of Harold Matthews players out on the field. They're playing high-level school footy. They're playing, some play cross codes, they play a bit of rugby as well. And when you start to think about the games that they play, rugby league, school, and then reps, and then club, you're talking about 40 football games a year, and they don't play that many games of football at NRL. So you start to think about the wear and tear that these boys have gone through. That's when you start to see your squads start to get injuries, and it's probably been the biggest challenge for us this year, is being able to keep our team fit and healthy for the season.
Any other coaches got any more to add, or is everyone on the health card on the side of things?
I think just on top of that, we haven't had a weekend off either through the weather. In past seasons, we've had some weeks out, where this season we've had to play every week, and that's on top of what Chris said around the school footy and the stuff that they're doing outside the footy. That just hasn't been a week for them to down tools really. So it's been a big workload for a lot of the boys.
Charlie, Victor, anything to add?
I think we're all on the same page, especially when it comes to managing the squads this year. The injuries, the injury toll's been horrific, and as Chris said, these boys they're training. Whether it was rep squads earlier on in the year, the school footy, playing school footy, and then you got your club footy. I think it's a big workload on these boys. They're 16, developing into their bodies and just putting it through a lot of work each week.
On the flip side of that, that's probably the most common theme I've found talking to every single one of you every week has been health, schoolboy football, junior reps, everything. What's been the highlight for everybody so far? Match of the round, something personal within your club or your teams? What's been the highlight? Anyone want to kick us off? We'll get a couple of players.
I think the highlight for Bulls would probably be winning that last game against St. Christopher's and to get into the final. So it was probably one of the better games in the season and was a good highlight throughout the year.
Anything for you, Craig, from a coach's perspective?
For me, I guess we've been a team that's been on the up a little bit and watching my boys grow and been able to compete with the big boys, which we haven't been able to do in previous years. So that, for me, it's been a slow burner over the years where we've been able to see that happen for my boys.
Logan?
I think the draw we had against Chester Hill was pretty good after coming off the loss from Cabra. I think it just got our team back on track and helped us get a couple more wins in before finals.
Yep. Chris, anything?
Yeah, probably what Craig was saying. I'm only new to Wenny this year, so it's just been nice to coach some new players, players that I haven't had a lot to do with. And you put them around some of the development boys, and then you see them grow, and hopefully we've got some new rep players, at the end of the season. So I've really enjoyed my time at Wenny, and the people have made me feel welcome there, and so has the family. So I've enjoyed it.
You guys, Charlie, Samuel?
I think what's been enjoyable is, the injury toll we had this year, bringing up some of the younger boys and the Div 2 players. They've really relished that opportunity, and I think they've come away being, better players, better kids. Going back to their team, taking that experience back to their teams, you could see when they go to back up for their sides. And every time we've called up on them, they've grabbed the opportunity and really, really did well with it.
Samuel?
Yeah, I think with our high injury toll, but when the boys came back and we started to play again together, we started to just enjoy footy again. I think we've all just missed playing with each other. So when the boys just come back in certain games, we just enjoy playing with each other. So it's been good.
Ryder, what was your highlight of this season?
I think our highlight of this season was our win against Wenties. Our comeback from half-time down by 20 points or something. Yeah, we thought we were down the drain at half-time, but we came back second half hard.
Victor, what's your highlight?
The last half of this round, so just all the challenges we went through as a team and as a club in the first round was just a bit hard on the boys. So to be told that we had to win the next 7 games straight was pretty hard to swallow, but just proud of the boys. That's been the highlight for me, is to see the boys just enjoying their footy, winning, and being here at the spot right now. So it's good.
And we spoke about the match of the round from the start, hearing about it and where we got to right now. Has it been enjoyable on everybody's part, and has it exceeded your expectations, or has it not? Has it been something that you've enjoyed being a part of?
It's exciting. It's good for the boys and their families, the exposure. Even for myself, my family from New Zealand, getting to watch my boy play on Facebook Live, it's good. It's good for us, and it's good for the game. And it's been exciting for me. So, right?
Like Victor said, it was good that it's out there for everyone to see. Good opportunities for our players that aren't in development squads to be seen and noticed.
Samuel and Charlie, how have you found it?
I found it really enjoyable. I think just watching the replays and hearing your name get called by commentators, your last name, it's what you play for, and I think the boys just like watching the highlights over and over again, so it's been really fun to watch.
Hopefully I haven't butchered anyone's name. I've tried my best.
Same as everyone else. It's good getting the boys out there, getting them to be seen, and like Victor said, sometimes you've got family that are overseas and they never get to watch your kids play or your team play, and now they've got this opportunity not just to watch them play but hear their names being called out. So it's been great. It's been a great concept.
Chris and Logan?
Look, I think we've got the competition with the envy of every other district. The focus with the commentating and the showpiece just has just added to that. And I think if this is an investment that Parramatta and Canterbury are going to do in the long term, we've kicked it off this year, and I think there's going to be a lot of other players that play elsewhere that want to play in our competition because of the exposure that it gives them, in their pathway to become, an NRL player.
I think it was a great decision to pick this age group, don't you think? I don't think there was a comp as close as what this one was and as competitive as what this one was.
I also think it was a good experience for the players as well, just hearing the names getting called out and just watching back and watching everyone play. I think it's just a good experience for the players, even if they're going into Parramatta and all that, to see themselves getting called in that. I think that's good.
Lockie, got anything to add?
What Samuel and Logan said, it's good to able to rewatch your games and see that your name gets called for something you did good, and being able to get highlights of yourself and I guess rewatching all the games.
Yep. Craig?
And I agree with everybody. It's been, I've had relatives in Western Australia watching, and they get to see my boy play, which has been lovely, which they wouldn't have got the opportunity to do. I think it's created a lot of excitement within the Bulls community. I know the 15s are already looking forward to exposure for next year. So there's excitement going, and people are talking about the game. it's good to see the boys go and get their hair done and makeup done the week before they got the games on as well.
I think another part I've probably found as a neutral from outside the district, but as someone who just loves watching football, been involved like yourselves, coaching and playing, is some diehards from clubs that complain that since the 20s has gone, other things that used to be there, more live streaming, people aren't seeing players until they either get the cup or, to the NRL. So in this sense, I know a couple of Canterbury people and Parramatta people that have hit me up that have been watching games who are literally excited looking at what's coming through, even though you're only just really starting your rep journey. So I think from that perspective, it's a great initiative, and it's been awesome to be a part of it. Last one here before we get more into the team side of things and talk about the finals, I guess. Has the concept been a good experience as coaches and players, do you think, for future steps in the game? Obviously, when you move higher up, you're already dealing with something you're going to have to do in the future, which is talking to me each week, which might seem like a pain in the backside, but interviews, media, getting used to that side of things and the talking, because that's obviously something that's going to come as all of you progress, whether you're a coach or a player?
I think it's been really good, and having conversations with Lockie about, are you ready and have you prepared this and have you done that? And I know he has. I think it's a really good experience for the young blokes to go through that and to see what it's about. It's a good step into what lies ahead for these kids.
I think it's just a good experience for everyone. And as I said before, as you go up in the ranks, you're going to have to get more interviews and do more things. It's good just getting taught young to help further on.
Yeah, it just gives it that professional edge that what these young men will have to experience when they get through the ranks. And it's been a great concept.
Guildford, Cabra, anything to add?
I think for the future, it's going to be a bright future. I think teams coming through their ages will be excited to play rugby league more. So now that the games are live streamed and that the commentators are commentating their game, so I think it grows the game more. So.
Ryder, Victor?
No, I've said it all.
You've said it all. All right. And sorry, I missed one more before we get to the matchups, and that was probably an interesting one because you're on the team. Has any other team or players impressed you in particular? They hit me up mid-year and I had a couple of names, and obviously there's been great players across everybody, but from your own perspective, you've obviously gone to the comp, you've played both districts, external and internal. Is there any particular players or a team that stood out to you?
I guess for us, we respect everybody who's left standing. We sort of said, but this is our first go at finals experience for a lot of my boys. So we're pleased to be a part of the final five, or top five. But we know we've got some hard work ahead of us. Every team is chock full of stars and well coached. And I know from our perspective, we're going to have to be on our game if we're going to progress any further than this week.
Lachlan, any players impress you? Any teams?
Every team's good on every player and stuff, so it's hard to really name someone.
Logan, Chris, anyone want to give me a bite? Something?
I can start rattling off each of the teams' names because obviously we do work on them before you match up. But as Craig and Lockie said, there's great players in every team. Lewis, I'm not going to single one or two out because it'd be disrespectful to all the other good players. It's a very high standard in all five teams that are left, and there's a lot of teams that aren't playing semi-finals that have got some very good players in them.
All right. Everyone else feel the same? Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Well, let's jump into the matchups. Obviously, St Christopher's were our minor premiers, so they're going to get the week off. I'm sure we all agree with the common theme we've all talked about with health and the load. That's obviously a big advantage, or something that this time of the year can be seen as favourable. But I guess we'll start with the 2v3 matchup. Guildford and Wentworthville, you guys only played 2 weeks ago, and it was a cracker of a game. It was a real tight arm wrestle, but I guess individually, before we speak of the matchup, from the Wenny side of things, you guys have been a picture of consistency for the most part of the year, all the way through. You haven't fallen out of that top three side of things. You obviously had a couple of challenges in the last couple of weeks and a bit of a reshuffle, but in general, coming into the finals, how are you feeling?
It was nice to get the win on the weekend because we'd had a few weeks without a W, so it was nice to get the confidence back into the team. Yeah, look, we played Guildford 2 weeks ago, and they're very high standard game. They're a high standard team, and we respect them. And yeah, look, we had some opportunities in that game that we didn't execute, and we did a lot of learning that night. A bit like the night we played, or the afternoon we played Parramatta in the second half. We learned a lot that day as well. So hopefully we can fix those things for this weekend and put a game together.
Logan, how do you feel about this game?
I think each game's been really good, and especially as a player, I'm excited to play Guildford. I'm always revved up to play them, and I think that covers it all.
And that draw at the back end you spoke about, you basically played the whole top 5 on the run-in. Does that put you in good footing, I guess, heading into a final series that you know is going to be tough?
Yeah, but there's come at a couple of casualties too, because it's just playing top 5 in the last 5 rounds. It's there wasn't any easy weeks, but playing the top 5 just took it to another level. So I'm just glad that we got through the weekend without any further injuries, and we can prepare as best as we can for Guildford this week.
And Charlie, obviously we spoke a couple of times. There's been some ups and downs through the year, but I think it's clear to still finish in the top 3 shows a lot of resilience from your group.
Definitely. It's been a tough year, but credit to the boys. They never gave up. Like I said earlier, we had to call on some of the younger boys to come up and help out. And we always said if we can just hang in there and try and scrape into the finals and maybe get some players back, have a few healthy boys back, we'd be able to give it a bit of a crack. And I think we're in that position now. We've got a great opposition this week, Wenny. Very, very good side across the whole field. So it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a really enjoyable game. 2 weeks ago, we played them at home, and it was a cracker game. It was probably one of the best games all year. The game could have went either way, and I'm sure this weekend will be the same. They'll be coming out ready to play, and we'll prepare as best as possible.
And Samuel, you're feeling better from a player's perspective, obviously getting some results at the back end, you're getting some bodies back onto the field as well. Do you think you guys are building nicely into the finals?
Yeah, I think our team chemistry has always been there. I think just when the boys are back on the field, we just click like that. So it'd be good to play Wenny, a very top squad, and we know that each game we just got to win now. It's finals time. It's the little things that matter now. So it's about doing the 1%ers and hopefully getting over the line each and every week.
Well, that matchup will be the match of the round for this week, the 2v3, to see who goes through for the first chance to play for a grand final spot against St Christopher's, and the 4v5 elimination final will be between the Bulls and Parramatta, starting with the Hills side of things. Craig, it was all to play for on the weekend. We obviously spoke beforehand. You had head-to-head matchups on the run-in with Chester Hill, Greenacre, and then you had to beat the minor premiers to find your way into that 5th spot, and you must be happy to get that result. But similar deal, I guess, to everybody. You got finals a week early, essentially, for your boys.
Yeah, that's certainly the case. We felt like we did start the finals last week, because we knew we were in a position where if we didn't, we would be watching and cheering from the sidelines this week. So we know we've got a tough game against Cabra, and they're probably the form teams that have had to win. There's been a lot of good footy played by Cabra over the last 7 or 8 weeks. I think we played them earlier in the year. We nearly got blown off the park that day, and we turned it around and kicked a goal from the sideline to somehow win that game. So that was a tough matchup for us, but we know where we sit, and we believe in ourselves, but we also respect each of the opponents that we've got to do, and we're only worried about this week, because this week's the only game that we see at the moment.
Yep, 26-24 early in the year. You had a very close game. Lachlan, from your perspective, confidence coming out of that win and coming in with nothing to lose?
Yeah, definitely. The boys have definitely got confidence coming from being the team coming first, but it's definitely going to be a close game because of the score from the last game come down to after the buzzer. So, yeah, we'll give it a good crack on the weekend and go from there.
And Victor, we spoke a couple of times early in the year. One part was just getting the bench and get some troops on the field. Then after that, I think the last time we saw each other was Rouse Hill, and both sort of spoke. You were confident the whole time that if things would get right, you guys could go on a run, and here you are now on the back of 6 in a row. You've found yourself in the finals and feeling confident in the group as well.
Yeah, I'm very confident in our team. This game was a do or die for us, but it's been like that for the last 7 weeks. If we had to lose one of those seven games, we wouldn't be here. So it's not just another game, but it's extra special this weekend for us. Hills Bulls beat us in the trials and in that last game we had, so hopefully we can get one up them. But a lot of respect to them. They're a tough team. You can't switch off. You know, that's how they got us at the end. But at the same time, I'm excited for this game and excited to be a part of it. So, yeah.
And Ryder, players' perspective, mate, how are you feeling? It was a tough start to the year. You guys had a couple of close results, but after that run, you feeling confident coming into the finals?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident, but they'll still come out firing like last game. You know, as the result, at the end of the day, anything can happen. Even though we're up at half time, still come back.
All right, well, there's our matchups for this week, so let's get into the big questions, the hard stuff. You're going to have to give me something here. Who of the teams remaining do you see as the biggest threat and why?
I think Chrissy's obviously, after being the minor premiers, you know, they've only lost like 1 or 2 games this whole season, and I think they're just carrying good forwards and strong backs, and I think it'll just be overall tough to beat them. Thanks, Logan.
Anything, Chris?
Yeah, look, you want me to give you something? I'll say St Christopher's as well. We're chasing them down. It's just great to be here with four Parramatta teams, yeah, we'll obviously have to battle each other to get there, but we're in good stead. Parramatta having 4 of the positions in the top 4, so the top 5. So yeah, I respect all the teams though, Lewis.
It's all good. Charlie, you see anyone as a particular threat?
Look, you know, it's an old cliche, anyone can win on the day, but, you know, Cabra's coming into some good form, 6 wins in the last 6 weeks, so, you know, and I know the quality that they've got there, so I think Cabra have flown quite
under the radar a little bit.
and yeah, so.
Samuel, anyone you think's a particular threat? Or maybe
Cabra's been really good, but I think that come finals time, teams just start to lift, and you don't know what players will strive under the pressure to win the finals game. So Cabra might have been gone really well, but Hills just a big game on the weekend to win. They have to win, so they know how to play under those precious moments. So anyone can win, but like it's those teams who want it more will win.
Craig, Lachlan, you see anyone particular as a threat?
No, look, I don't know if you're pushing for something, but we're in no position to say that anyone's not a threat. Everybody's ahead of us at the moment. We've got to be the threat to everyone else, but we understand where we're at, and we're going to put our best foot forward, and we can't look too further forward than Cabra this week. But I know that every game in these finals is going to be, you know, really high quality, and every team could win it.
Yep. Victor, Ryder, do you see anyone particular as a threat? Anyone flying under the radar for you?
Hills Bulls.
Yeah, so could be yourselves.
Anyone that can beat us twice is doing something right. So, yeah.
All right. And I guess another one, you can definitely elaborate on this because I'm not asking you from anything externally. Why can your team win the Central West Conference? It's been a tough competition, that's for sure, but why can you win? Craig, Lachlan?
I guess for us, we've got a team who are experiencing something new for them, and they're excited about what they can do as a group. Most of them have played together since they were, I think I've had the group now for about 4 or 5 years, so they've been together and they're excited about what lies ahead. It's we're just the old cliche, 1 week at a time, but it's something about being with their mates. I know probably all the teams here will talk about that it's comes from being with people you spend a lot of time with over a long period of time, and you invest a lot of time and effort, and I certainly know that my boys have run every Tuesday night. They cop a flogging, and it's held them in good stead. But that hard work, you know, is probably going to hold us in a good place, hopefully.
Lachlan, why do you think you guys can win?
I think we can win because of, I guess, how hard we work. Like Craig said, we get flogged every Tuesday just to be that fittest team in the conference. I think, that does help in the end of the day, and I think, we can give it a good shot.
Chris, Logan, why can Wenny win the Central West Conference?
Yeah, a little bit the same as Hills. I think it's just that brotherhood. I'm new to the team this year, but the boys have, from where they come from last year, there's been some new players also come to the group. and they're just gone underground and just working hard, and hopefully they've worked that hard that when they're in that part of the game that they need to call upon it, they can. So it really comes down to probably the less technical stuff. It's more the effort stuff that I think is going to see Wenny, if we're successful, to go on. So hopefully we've ingrained a bit of that Tuesday night training into us as well, that Hills have done. But yeah, look, it's just that brotherhood of the group, and I think that's what we'll be there to see whether we go on or not.
Logan, anything to add?
Oh yeah, as Howie said, we're a fairly new group, and a couple of players that have come new this year, and I think it's just the connection we've had this whole season, even after the new players coming. I think it's just the effort we try and like everything we do. I think it just pays off.
Charlie, Samuel, why can you guys win?
First of all, we're getting some fresh troops back, some healthy players back, which always helps. But I've been involved with this group, or majority of them, since they were 5 or 6 years old, and all they've done is, for those last 11 years or so, is fight for each other, and this won't be any different. They don't go down without a fight, and they're very resilient. They work hard for each other, and it's very hard to take that away from them. They'll always fight for each other, and they're a close-knit group, and they'll go down with a fight.
Samuel, anything to add?
As Charlie said, that we've been together for a very long time, but I think the boys would really want to get a win for Charlie because everything is done for us. I think that we really wanted to play for him, but also for the boys that won't be with us for the rest of the season because of injury. I think we have to play for them, for their time that they played for us, and they put their best efforts forward, that we have to repay the favour towards them.
Ryder, why can Cabra win the Central West Conference?
I just think because we're a really resilient team. We've had to go through a lot of obstacles during our season, and we just keep coming back harder every game.
Victor, anything to add?
I think everyone pretty much covered it. And just what Ryder said, we've been through a lot of obstacles to get here, and the boys caught a quit on the first day, but we're here, so it must mean something. And I back the boys 100%, and if we turn up for each other, I think the results will come our way.
All right, and the final question I have for everybody is, how have you found just the overall experience of the match of the round and this competition in general? And I guess moving forward, a lot of us have touched on it. Do you think this concept is something that will kick on and was worthwhile and something that everyone's going to buy into moving forward? Anyone want to kick me off?
I think it's been a wonderful experience for all the players and all the teams and all the families and rugby league clubs. It lets people see how good our game can be. I think meeting all the teams and coaches throughout the year has been played in great spirit, and I think that for me, to go to a game and turn up and be able to have a conversation with a coach and players and see that that we're there for the greater good of the game, I think that's really important. I've watched all the teams grow and all the players grow, and the experience, I think people want to see more of it. And as I said, the excitement that the younger teams from next year, they're already looking at this and thinking how good is this.
Lockie, anything to add?
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed playing the match of the round, and I think the younger boys will definitely be looking forward to the next year for having that opportunity.
Logan and Chris?
Yeah, no, I've certainly enjoyed it. I know the players have as well, their families, and I think the concept's here to stay. The Parramatta and Canterbury and yourself, Lewis, have done a great job in pulling it all together, and it's been a success. You just have to look at the hit rates on YouTube and on Facebook Live. It just shows you how popular the games are, and it's building momentum. I reckon you'll do some PBs coming through the semi-finals.
Charlie, Samuel, overall experience?
Yeah, it's been great. The boys have certainly enjoyed it. I know at home we watch, the family watches the game over and over after it's been recorded by you guys. So, yeah, it's been great. And I know our age groups below us at Guildford are certainly looking forward to it. And, you just got to look at whenever there is a match of the round, the actual crowd that it draws, because people want to be a part of it, not just, the playing group or coaching staff. Everyone wants to be a part of it, and I think it's been a great concept, and certainly something that should stick around.
Samuel?
Yeah, the match around isn't just about the players' families and the districts, but other people out of districts are coming to watch the games, or they hear about it and they'll go tune in to watch it. I think it just gives us the exposure towards maybe districts out of like Parramatta and Bulldogs, that people come and watch and they see, oh, how good this is, and then maybe in the trials next year they want to play it, test their limits and see how they go against clubs like us.
Ryder and Victor?
Yeah, I think it goes deeper as well, because in my household, my younger boys are saying, no, I can't wait till I get to, when I'm 16, I get to play on the live stream. So it's good. It's I reckon it's just really good for our game and exciting throughout our families and friends, and it's a good booster for the boys. And I know when it comes to the live stream games, that all of a sudden they're not injured anymore, they want to play, so it does something special for us, so it's good.
Well, guys, I want to thank everyone for being here tonight for this podcast and promoting heading into the finals here for the Central West Conference. Also, just for how you've been all year. You guys make it very, very easy to call the games. Hopefully your ears don't bleed too much when I start yelling. And I think the biggest thank you goes to you, because without the quality football and that product, I don't think the match of the round is what it is. Thanks to Adam and Parramatta and the Bulldogs for coming up with the concept. They're the real reason why this has all come together. And I'm sure everybody agrees with me. 5 p.m. this week, YouTube or through the Parramatta Eels Junior Rugby League page. Tune in to the match of the round. It's the 2v3 matchup this week at Guildford and Wenty. Should be another barn burner like it was 2 weeks ago. And yeah, it's coming to an end, sadly, but we're at the business end right now. So best of luck to everybody. And for everybody who's tuned in, thanks for listening, and tune in to the match of the round this week, 5 p.m. on the YouTube channel or through the Parramatta Eels Junior Rugby League page.